Let me try to turn these ringtones down. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Welcome to my channel where I watch reality shows. I'm going to get to 90 Day Fiance. I got some real, let me put the camera, real opinions on this season of 90 Day. I think 90 Day the other way. Not 90 Day Fiance, but 90 Day the other way. Let me get it right. But anyway, welcome to my channel where I review things. Also, and I talk about dating. I talk about any show that involves romance, relationships, or dating. I think that's going to be my purview and my focus, and that's what we're doing. So anything that involves, I'm going to do more videos on my channel. I do have another channel called Nomadic Kitty. Um, I will put links in the description and in the comments later on, but I do have a show called Nomadic Kitty. I know most of y'all are going to watch this on the rewatch anyway, so I ain't really worried about it. But I do have another channel named Nomadic Kitty that actually do videos, and I'm not uh, typically on camera. I apologize, y'all, for the lighting, the sound, the internet, any technical difficulty, because I am on my phone. I'm going to do a review of a show called Life After Lockup. There's so many versions of this show. There's like Love During Lockup, Life After Lockup, Lockup, and then the seasons are all weird. And so, Sir Khan, what's up? Sir Khan, God bless you too, Sir Khan. What's up, Kiki? Nothing much today. I just tried to do this video because I'm really pressed for time. So I am always pressed for time, y'all. Like, I'm doing 2 YouTube channels. I have something else going on. And then I have work. I have to go into work today. Y'all know sometimes I got to go to the office, but I work from home mostly. But I got to go in the office today. So I just thought I'd come on here and do this video. Like, I'm in my car, y'all, and do this video. But so I apologize for the audio, the video, anything else that may pop off or arrive. But make sure y'all thumbs up, like, subscribe, give suggestions. I'm going to do a 90 Day Fiance video. And I'm going to add a personal twist on this 90 Day Fiance thing. I'm going to talk about dating in other cultures, other countries, and how that kind of goes. I'm not an expert, but I've been talking to a lot of people, and we're going to figure this out. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about 90 Day. I have to talk about 90 Day, y'all. 90 Day is haunting me. I am haunted by 90 Day Fiance. I am haunted by this season of this show. There are so many casted characters and so many people on there. I'm just like, I thought Big Ed was bad. Baby, 90 Day Fiance. I was like, yeah, Big Ed ain't got nothing on these cast members this year. I was like, Lord have mercy. But anyway, we're going to talk about 90 Day Fiance in another video. We're talking about Love After Lockup. This is a review. This is not a live watch. This is a review. Okay, so we're going to break it down by per couple. And I'm trying to make this video short and sweet, and so I don't take a long time because I have to get into work. Okay? And I don't want to drive and kill myself. But welcome everybody here. Welcome. Gather around, everybody. Gather around. This episode is called Ring and Rung. Okay, we're going to do it by couples. The first couple I'm going to talk about is Kirok and Brittany, okay? They are living in Virginia, and they are trying to move to Texas. Kirok and Brittany have both been in jail. They have both been in prison, so they're ex-felons. They're on probation. They've been living their best life. They've been doing things. So Kirok has a mother and I think a brother that's going to be moving to Texas. My state of Texas, by the way. And let me tell y'all something. My state of Texas don't play. When you do a felon transfer, I've learned from other people who have moved here who are felons, that when you do a transfer coming here, it is hard to get here. They will deny your request and all of that. Like what Kirok and Brittany are going through is real. Like some people were online saying they was trying to say it was kind of fake and false, but I can attest to you. I have a friend that's a probation officer, and it's hard to get a transfer depending on what type of crime. I'm not sure what Brittany's crimes are. I didn't watch their season, so I'm really not sure. I know Kirok was doing robberies. I don't know what Brittany was doing, but there's something that she is doing. Like if she has a bunch of illegal substance charges, I'm trying to put this the nicest way, then Texas has a really bad problem with trafficking, like substance abuse and trafficking here. So I could see, depending on what type of charges and how long she has on probation, they may deny her. I know Kirok, they actually dropped his probation because the state of Texas is like, well, he must not have had that long, And so sometimes they will just drop your probation. So he's off of probation. So his mother and brother apparently are already in Texas. They got an apartment. Karak got a job waiting for him in Texas. And he's just waiting for the system for Brittany now to be approved. So she goes down to the office and she gets denied again. And it's sad because this is real, y'all. Like when you go through the system and you get locked up in prison. I have never been to prison, but I have family members who have been incarcerated. I have friends that have been incarcerated. I have dated men who have been on parole and probation. My ex-boyfriend went to prison, okay? And he was on parole for about 10 years. So I understand him. He didn't move anywhere. But in the state of Texas, it's tough here. It's tough to be on parole probation, period. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they found housing. It is very hard to find housing in Texas, y'all. To be a ex-con, a felon. It's very hard to find housing here. So I'm surprised they even found housing, but I don't know if the apartment is in his mom's name or what she had to co-sign. Because I know, again, firsthand, dating someone who's an ex-felon who was in prison over 15 years ago, that he still has problems finding housing. He has a ridiculously good job. My ex makes a lot of money, like 6 figures, okay? He has a really good job, okay? Skilled job, technical job, all that. He cannot find housing. It's hard for him to find housing with his charges. So it depends on what the charge it is. If it involves any kind of SA, if it involves any kind of selling of illegal substances, you're going to have a hard time in Texas, at least in the area that I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, finding housing. It is sad. It is not fair. It is crazy, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just how it is. I can't speak to Houston or El Paso, San Antonio area, but I can speak for the Dallas area with authority. It is hard to find housing and even employment here in Texas. Texas is not a felon-friendly state. If you're a felon here, you can't even vote here. So it is not a felon-friendly state on purpose. But there are a lot of felons that people still commit crimes here. We still have a high crime, but in all of Texas. But it's just not a felon-friendly state. Some states are more easier. They have more programs. There are programs here to help people when they get out of jail. There are halfway houses just like any other place. But it is hard. So Brittany was having pretty much a meltdown because she got denied again. And they just want to get out of Virginia. And the fact that they have a job in an apartment, I just find that very sad that like the system is working against really good people. But that's how the system is. My ex saw this episode and he was like, that's how the system is. You know, it's really tough. And then some people were saying online that, well, like Brittany and Karak, they used to be, they have to stay in a hotel until they go through the appeals process because they left their apartment, which I disagree with totally. They should have had all their ducks in a row before they decided to try to move to Virginia. Everything should have been approved beforehand. Then they should have moved. But then again, when you're looking for a job and you're looking for a place to stay, sometimes you got to just do what you got to do when you got to do it. So I'm not really faulting them because sometimes that's just how, but it should have been more planned with Karak and Brittany. But I still love Karak and Brittany. Even though they've been through a lot, they're a couple one of the few couples that I actually root for. I'm actually rooting for them. Like, I want them to be together. I think they're so cute together. It's just, Brittany, they were like, well, she been in prison. They should know, but they don't want to stay in a hotel just because you've been in prison and you used to eating food out of a microwave. It don't mean you want to keep living like that. So the idea that some people online who are kind of heartless going, well, she should toughen up. And, well, she spent time in prison, so she should be used to that. Nobody wants to go live in those conditions again. Who want to be out of prison, living in and out of a nasty-ass hotel in the middle of Virginia somewhere? Like, who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. You trying to change your life. They're around crackheads, elements. I believe that Karak and Brittany both have substance abuse problems. Nobody wants to live. Nobody wants to live around that. And just because that's the lifestyle that you used to live, don't mean that you want to go live that lifestyle again. It's too much temptation out there for them to be living in some kind of weird, nasty rundown hotel. But, we're going to see how they do, and I'm rooting for them. The next couple I'm going to talk about is Justine and Michael. Now, Justine and Michael, of course, last season, they were on, just like Karak and Brittany were on. So last season, Justine and Michael were on. They have a bunch of kids. Like, I think Michael has like 4 or 5 kids. Justine has, well, not counting the baby that they just have, but separately, Michael has like 4 or 5 kids, and Justine has 1, 2, 3. Well, she has like 3 kids. She has like 2 sons and a daughter. The daughter's off to college. They moved from the East Coast to Las Vegas, to a house in Las Vegas. Michael is now working 2 jobs while Justine stays at home. She's a stay-at-home mom. And they found out that she's pregnant again, and it's a high-risk pregnancy. Okay, so that's kind of like the recap. Michael was in prison for dealing illegal substances. He was in there for a while. And some of his kids are there with him, and some of his kids are not. So 2 of his kids are back on the East Coast because their moms, he has multiple kids by multiple women. Their moms were like, no. So I guess they can visit during the summer, but they're not. She didn't want, I guess the baby mamas of these 2, the 2 younger ones, didn't want their kids living there, which she, whoever these baby mamas is, salute to you, baby mamas, because I wouldn't want my kids living in this situation either. So they're living in Vegas right now. Michael's older son, who's like 16, is not getting along with Justine's son. I think he's like 12. So they're not getting along. So at any time in the household, I guess, I'm making an assumption from what they've said during this past episode, is that the kids have issues and the kids don't get along, and which is natural and normal because you're throwing kids in a situation where, you know, they don't really know each other. They may not even like each other. They may never like each other. Just because you have stepkids and it's like, y'all think, you know, it's going to be like the damn Brady Bunch. It's not. Sometimes kids don't like each other. Sometimes kids will never. I know I have friends that have step brothers and sisters that they hate, that they don't F with to this day. And they in their 40s. And they like, I don't F with them. Even though they were halfway raised with them, they still don't like them. They still don't have a good relationship with them, especially the older the kids are. And these kids are like over the age of 12. So these kids have had their own lives, their own agency, their own thing. So Michael's son gets in an argument with Justine's son's last episode. Apparently Justine's son is autistic, and I won't speak anything on autism. I don't know anything about autism. I've never been around autistic people, autistic kids, not that I know of. I'm not autistic, so I can't really offer any kind of opinions, and I'm not, because I'm not an expert, and I'm not finna bump up off the gums about something that I don't know shit about. I don't do that. Other people on other channels may be like, well, her son is autistic, so he should know better. I'm like, I'm not comfortable speaking about a child, and I'm not comfortable speaking about an autistic child. People have cast dispersions on Justine about her son. Unless you have an autistic child and you know where Justine's child at is on the spectrum even, I feel like you have no right to say shit about Justine's son. I feel it's out of pocket. So the son, he's like 12 years old. He broke his phone, a $1,500 iPhone. I question the thought process and the maturity of grown people buying a 12, 13-year-old a $1,500 iPhone. I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. Do you think I would ever buy my kid I can afford an iPhone? Bitch, I ain't even got an iPhone. This is a Samsung, okay? This is a Samsung. Straight from Korea, baby. I got me a nice, affordable Samsung. My kids, how many phones are my kids broken? 0. If you ain't watching the screen, 0. My kids are broken. 0 phones. My son got his first cell phone when he was 12, 13 years old. He is 14 now. 0. Either by accident or on purpose. 0. My daughter got her first cell phone last year. She got the same cell phone. It's not broken. She didn't break it. 0. When my kids have had tablets, they have had laptops, they have had computers. Did my kid break their laptop? No. Did I buy them an expensive laptop? They got an HP. Is the HP sitting in my house right now? Yes, it's sitting in my house right now. Have they broken it? No. My kids have had all kinds of Fire tablets. Have they broken any of them? No. So I'm just saying that for anybody up here saying that well, kids break things, because I've heard this argument. Well, kids break things, and who kids? Yeah, and that may be y'all baby kids, but it ain't mine. My kids don't break shit. Because my kids know, another thing my kids know, if they do break something, they got to pay for it. My kids have bank accounts. My kids have their own accounts where they put the family money that, how family give you money during birthdays and holidays. They get money from their family, right? Like birthdays, because, they're at the age now, they real picky. So my kids have accounts with cards to it. I told my kids they break their phone, they break their glasses, they paying for it. Guess what happened? 0 things are broken in my house because my kids, they're like, we'll go without. My daughter was like, oh, my tablet stopped working. And she didn't break it. It stopped working. It was beyond warranty. Guess what? Did she got a new tablet? I said, well, I guess it's time for you to buy a new tablet. She like, no, Mom, I'm good. Because that's teaching my kids responsibility. It's easy when it coming out of mama's money or daddy's money or Justine and Michael's money. A $1,500 phone. $1,500 phone for a 12, 13-year-old, I don't advise it. And then if I do advise it, you make sure that the phone is insured. I'm like, is the phone not insured? Because that's a whole nother level of responsibility that you should put. The phones should be insured. Who buys a $1,500 phone that's not insured? Are you stupid? Like, and then another thing, I would make sure that the kid understands that if you break this phone or something happens to this phone that's your fault, I'm taking out of your money. I don't know how Justine and Michael do their kids, but I've had problems with Justine and Michael since the first season, since they were on Love During Lockup. So don't even get me started. I'm not a fan, okay? I'm not a fan of Justine and Michael. Everybody knows, if you watch last season, that I do not like their parenting style. I do not like their lack of maturity, everything. So Michael get mad last episode, punch a hole in the wall. Okay, so you mad at the kid because he broke the phone, but you can't deal with your anger and punch a hole in the wall. So Justine, for some odd reason, the bastion of the voice of reason in this episode, this recent episode, is Justine talking to Michael going, you need to control your anger. You broke the wall. He broke the phone. That's not a good example. And he's upset. And then Michael acknowledged that he's upset more. It's more than just about the phone. It's about him working 2 jobs. It's about him being stressed out. It's not him being, he can't do his rap thing. Again, win-win, cry me a river. This is the life you signed up for. Him and Justine just had a baby. They turn around and be irresponsible, like irresponsible teenagers. Like birth control don't exist for grown people. Like birth control don't exist. They could have easily got on birth control really quick. She turned around, now she's finna have babies back to back. That's more money. That's more stress in the household. So she's dealing with these grown kids, a kid in college, and she got a high-risk pregnancy. So Justine goes and talks to her daughter, who's in college, who's living her best life, saying that if something happens to her, that she may have to take her 2 brothers and share custody with her husband, because she's not sure if Michael can handle all of these 9 kids by himself. Ma'am, why would you marry somebody like that? Y'all, and I'm not going in on Justine and Michael, y'all. I'm not just talking about them. When I talk about these episodes and these people, I'm not just going in. But yeah, I am going in on Justine and Michael, because why would you marry somebody like that? But this is going to come up over and over again in this episode. This is the man that you chose to be with. You chose to be with an ex-felon. And you're not sure that he's going to be able to take care of your kids if you're gone? Why would I marry a man like this? So I tell everybody, not just these people who've been incarcerated and they have their issues, yes. But this happens in real life. Because, again, this is real life. This is real life coming from experience. For somebody, I'm telling you, Miss Kiki has a dead husband, okay? My husband passed away. My husband wouldn't have married me if he felt like I wasn't capable. If I wasn't a capable wife, if I wasn't a capable girlfriend, if I wasn't a capable mother, my husband, when he left this earth, he rest assured that everything was going to be all right. My husband, we had talks all the time when he was sick and dying. And he said, I don't ever worry about you, Kiki. Because I know that I married a capable woman. I married that bitch. I married a capable woman. That I understand that you work hard, that you love hard, that you are responsible, that you're careful. And when my husband left this earth, That was one thing he didn't worry about. He worried about his parents. He worried about his sister, kind of. But he used to tell his family, Kiki and the baby's gonna be all right. It's gonna be hard for her. It's gonna be tough for her being a single parent. But my husband left this earth rest assured that he married the right one. That he didn't marry the wrong one. That he married somebody that I have every faith in you, my husband would say. I have every faith in you, girl. That you are going to thrive and you're going to survive. I don't have to worry about y'all being homeless. I don't have to worry about you having some man laid up in your house. None of that has happened. I am not poor. There is no man laid up in my house. There's nobody whooping my ass. There's nobody whooping my kids' ass. None of it. Why? Because my husband's like, that's the woman I want to marry. This is the woman I want to be with. She's capable. She's smart. She works hard. We ain't never going to be broken poor. Why? Because I got with a partner that I understand that is capable. So the idea that these people are going to be married to these felons and they want to be taken care of and they want their kids to be taken care of. Well, sis, if you wanted that, why would you get with a felon? Why would you get with somebody like that? Why? Because you hot and excited and, ooh, he's sexy. Ooh, and now Michael over there looking like a damn turtle. Like he over here like this. Like, y'all both looking busted, disgusted, and stressed and distressed. Because again, looks and passion and lust and you know, when you had those butterflies and everything is all new, that shit don't last. You have to get with somebody that's capable. I tell everybody this, felon or not. You have to get with a woman or in a man that's capable. So now Justine is over here talking to her daughter, and her daughter's like, I just want to live my life. I don't want to take care of no kids. That's not the daughter's responsibility. She is legally married to Michael. He will legally have custody and jurisdiction over his kids and any kids that they have together. If her son's fathers do not want to take them, then, but legally speaking, the daughter really she's not a step parent. And she shouldn't be forced to be. She shouldn't be thinking about, like, oh my God, like, I got to be a parent and cut her college life. And I hope nothing happens to Justine. I don't want anything to happen to nobody who's pregnant carrying a child. I've had miscarriages. I've had hard pregnancies. And I understand the high risk. I was an old mama. So I was an old lady. I was in my late 30s having children. And so I understand the high risk pregnancies. I get all that. But the idea that, like, now you're, like, telling your child, they should have been more responsible. And her daughter told her, you know what, Mom, y'all should have been more responsible. Like, y'all can't just be putting this on me. Y'all should have been more responsible. So Justine and Michael, once again, are idiots. Like they are childish. They get on my nerves because these are people in their late 30s. These are grown people. These are not 20-year-olds. These are grown people. So I just had to move on. So anyway, we're going to Joey. What's his name? Joey and Kimberly or whatever. They dumbasses. Okay. They over there looking for, Joey got out of prison. He only been out of prison like a month or so. She got him taking the kids to school, getting the kids ready. She worked. He ain't got no job. They looking for a house. Every house that she looking for that they showed in that episode, it had rats, it had roaches, it was busted, it was nasty. I'm like, because they want to go someplace to where they're not paying a rental home. Because right now they rent a house. I wouldn't put a dog in a house that Kimberly was looking at. Like, them houses was nasty. It was busted and disgusting. It was nasty homes. And so she needs, of course, to put 10% down. It's a home. She got to put 10% down. Yada, yada. Joey ain't got no money. So she telling him, okay, well, you need to go get a job. Joey's a felon, okay? The first thing he should do when going to find a job is tell the employer that he's a felon. So he goes in for a quote-unquote job interview because it just seemed fake as hell. Like, I'm just going to call it. It seemed fake. And then, like, toward the middle of the interview, he's like, oh, yeah, I have a felony record, da-da-da-da. But he has some kind of, like, evap certificate. Somebody online was trying to explain it. But he's not going to be able to be an HVAC person because, again, I know somebody who worked HVAC. I don't know. Every company is different. But I know for some companies here in Texas, if you have any kind of felony, they won't let you go into people's homes. Like, they have it to where you're a helper, But you can't go in a home by yourself if you are ex-felon. So some companies, the major companies here in Texas that do heating and air conditioning, most of them have that rule. And again, I know somebody who worked in HR for a major HVAC company. Well, matter of fact, she still does. And if you're, I asked her, I said, yeah, they were like, no, if you are a felon, they won't let you be in the house by yourself. You can't rise up in the company. But smaller companies who are owned by individual owners, they have their own rules. But a lot of the major companies that are nationwide won't let you work there, period, with a felon. And then depending on what kind of felony it is, you won't be able to go in people's homes. So that's just a little background. But that's just a little background. But he's trying to find a job. And he at first was telling Kimberly that he don't want a job crawling on the ground, and he don't want, snakes and rats. And I'm like, how are you gonna be picky and you a felon? Like, Joey, like, somehow thinks that he's Mr. to do with it. You're a felon. You have to take whatever job that you can take. And then from where they live in a small town. So it's not like there's a lot of opportunity there. So Joey just, he better crawl on that ground with them snakes and them rats and the roaches and call it a day. He needs to bring in some income that's legal. So the idea that he's sitting there telling Kimberly he ain't gonna do this and he ain't gonna do that, boy, bye. Go, you take whatever job, even if it's fast food, whatever, flipping burgers, pizza, whatever you got to do, okay? You can't be too picky when you're a felon. You have to go with whatever company that hires you. So the idea that he was up here talking about he ain't gonna do this and I don't want to do that and I don't want, he sounds like the biggest man baby, and he hasn't worked since 2014. And then the wife, the soon-to-be wife, she over here stressed because she trying to get married, she trying to buy a house again. Why would you get with these men who have no working skills, no education, just got out of prison? He ain't had a job since 2014. Girl, bye. You deserve everything that you get to be dealing with a man like that. And you got 2 small children, and this is the man that you want to be with, that you've been screwing around with off and on for like 10 years or more. This is the man, this the man you want to waste your time and your body on? Girl, I can't, like, are you this desperate? I think Kimberly need to move out that town, move to someplace different, maybe with a different pool of men, because it just seemed like everybody in the town just keeps screwing each other, and like it's like community pee. It like everybody in town just screwing each other. I'm just like, why everybody got sloppy seconds in their whole damn town? Like, it's sad, but this is the kind of stuff that goes on in small. I live in a small town. I don't know if this is what goes on, but in a lot of small towns is what I heard. So I don't know what to say about Kimberly and Joey. They trifling. So anyway, we get on to Melissa and Louie. Okay. All right. Melissa and Louie annoy me. Like, I don't hate them. It ain't nothing personal, but they annoy me. This storyline seems fake. He's with his friends trying to go to a jeweler to buy her a ring. He spends let's make a long story short, he spends like $18,000 on a ring. As to why any woman in their fucking right mind would think that a man who got out of prison, who saved up like $18,000, like, why you would think that it was okay for a man to spend all of his savings on a wedding ring, and there's no guarantee that the marriage is gonna last, the relationship's gonna last. I would rather, look, as somebody who's been married, I went with my husband to go pick out my ring. I picked out my ring, and it was like $4,000. We had money in savings, and I'm like, we're not blowing our savings on a ring. Like, what about the wedding? Like, what? Like, are they gonna have a wedding? I just be sitting here watching these shows like this. I just shaking my head. I'm like, why would you have him blow? He didn't save up enough money to where you can get a house. Why the F? I don't know where they live, like where Melissa lives. She may already live in a house, but you can save up that money to buy a car, to your kids' education. Do they want to have kids? Melissa already has a child. She has a teenage daughter. Why in the fuck would anybody in their right mind blow $12,000, $18,000, $10,000 on a wedding ring? It is beyond me. You can't take it with you when you die. You're not building any wealth with it. I would want a man that I'm going to be with. He'd be like, babe, I'm going to get you like a nice little ring, and we're going to take the rest of this money. We're going to invest the money. That's the kind of man that I want in my life. I want a man doing investments. I want a man be like, baby, we finna get married. Here's this $4,000 ring. Maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000. I don't know. But he could have went online and got him a ring, y'all. He could have went online and got him a diamond ring without going through a brick and mortar store. Brick and mortar stores, let me tell you, I used to sell jewelry online, so I know how this goes. Jewelry in the West is very expensive. You can order online from somebody else in another country, and you can get the same type of rings online with a reputable jeweler in another country. I'm just gonna tell you, this is a fun fact and a tip for all these people out there want to get married. Go online and buy you a ring. Go online and get the ring size. Go online and get your ring. Do not go to a brick and mortar store, especially a big box jewelry store, to go buy, because they up. Diamond rings are not that expensive, y'all. They're not. To be in the jewelry business is an expensive business because the amount that they get for those rings. I mean, the ring that he spent, that jeweler probably spent about $2,000 on that ring, and he charged him $18,000. I'm telling you, the upcharge on the jewelry business is crazy. If y'all want to get into a business, get into the jewelry business, because the prices of the jewelry is subjective. They don't cost that much. There's a company that I used to get my jewelry from that like sells to jewelry stores. You would be amazed. I used to buy my jewelry from them. Like once you become a dealer and you're a business, and you prove that you're a business and you buy from them, and they're a jewelry supplier, baby. I mean, I saw like 3-carat diamond rings like $5,000, and these people are gonna turn around and sell it for $20,000. The jewelry business is nice, y'all. But listen, and Louis, they're both idiots. They're both like in their 40s, and they're just dumb as hell. Like, Melissa is like, wants to live some kind of glamorous life. And again, Joey's working 2 jobs, one at a pizza place, one doing, I guess, yoga or fitness train. I don't know. Okay. All right. In other words, they not really bringing any money. Melissa, she supposedly works at the post office. She ain't really bringing in a lot of money either. So these men and these women that want to live like these highfalutin lives and these jet set, and then like they want to be on this show too. And I'm just like, y'all just want to be famous. Y'all just want to be on TV. Melissa and Louis, they just dumb. Both of them are 40-year-old idiots. Okay, they just idiots. I can't deal with that level. Anyway, so we going on to Troy and Zariah. Her and Troy are arguing like cats and dogs. Now the new thing is, which I don't know if this is storyline or not, because it sounds fake. Now the new thing is that she thinks Troy is cheating on her, because Troy is always on his phone. He's always texting somebody. And then he's like, well, I'll let you see my phone. I'll let you get the code. And she's like, well, that's not good enough. Zariah acts like a fucking kid. Zariah gets on my nerves. I've never seen so many childish people in my life. I've never seen so many childish people with children. This is the reason why I'm going to tell y'all right now, well, I'm afraid for my kids to go out in this world because of this, because these type of people are having children. Like, I cannot believe these people are irresponsible. These people are childish. These people are dumb. And these people have children. Most people on this show have kids. So these are the people that have kids that my kids are gonna be friends with, that my kids hang around with, that you and both of our kids are gonna be out dating. These people who come from dysfunctional homes, these people who come from irresponsible parents that ain't taught them not a lick of fucking sense at all. These are the kids that gonna go to school with your children, that go to school with my children, that's gonna date your children and date my children. I don't live in dysfunction, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a house where there's like somebody's punching holes in my walls. I don't have a house where there's inappropriate sexual things going on in my house. I don't have a household where there's criminals. I don't have a house where people are doing drugs in my house. I don't do drugs. I don't have a household where I'm drunk. I don't have a household where I even cuss around my kids. So the idea that my kids are out here in this world with these people with these dysfunctional ass parents, like, I just feel sad, scared, frightened for our country, and frightened for my children. That this is the people that they got to deal with. This is the level of dysfunction you see, like, not just on this show, but just in real life. I know this show is like hyperbolic and, you know, it's like showing people dating felons, but these are how some real Americans are. Like, people in other countries watch this and they like, what the hell? I'm like, you got people who should be having children. Should not have children if you're not ready. Don't have kids. Don't do it. But these people do. So Zariah, she has a child. She acts childish. She's yelling at Troy. Then she want to go to a psychic, and the psychic was like, no, I don't think he's cheating. And then Zariah talking about, well, there's spirits and there's demons. Girl, the only spirit and the only demon is you. You're the demon. You're the spirit. Zariah got a few screws loose. She talking about these demons and these spirits surrounding their relationship. Girl, is you. Sometimes the demon is you. Zariah has issues. She acts way too volatile and too childish for me to be. I don't know why anybody would ever marry her. She's a pretty girl. I get it, but it's just that's too much cuckoo, too much one flew of the cuckoo's nest for me. It's cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. She act nutty. She's jealous. She it's like, girl, okay. Again, you got with a felon. Like, what are you expecting? Like, your business is tanking. She shouldn't be more worried about her business and her child and her marriage than what Troy ain't doing. I understand the concern that he's maybe texting. I get it. Look, I'm not saying she's at fault for being suspicious, because when it comes to any man, felon or not, Miss Kiki gonna be like, who you texting? Because, yeah, it did look like he was on the phone a lot. Again, I don't know if this is editing. I don't know if this is a storyline. I don't know what it is. Okay, you can't trust it on these damn reality shows. But I get it why she's concerned. But the way she goes about and communicating and handling things, she flies off the handle like a upset teenager. Instead of sitting down and like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Troy is the only one that acts like he has any sense. In these shows, the kids are the only ones that act like they have any sense. The adults act crazy and the kids are like, well, maybe you should make better choices and better decisions. And maybe, Mom, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm like, how the hell are how is the kids having more sense than these people? Than these grown people? I just don't get it. But Zariah and Troy, like, they going to a spiritualist, a psychic, whatever. She talking about demons, whatever. And the only demon is you. You're the harbinger of your own destruction, Zariah. Get a grip. Go get help. I don't know what mental health issues. I don't know enough about her life, but there's something not right there. So I don't know. Troy, run. I don't know. Troy and Rob should get to be roommates. Run, Troy, run. So I don't know. So then we come to the last couple that I've saved the best for last. Daniel and Bianca. First of all, I have to say, I don't like the way Daniel talks. It sounds really odd. It sounds really weird. It sounds like he's reading a script all the time. And I'm thinking Daniel might be slightly autistic. Like, I'm not trying to dog him the way he talks, and I'm not trying to diagnose him or anything, but the way he talks and the way he acts is, from the little that I do know about autism, he sounds and acts a little slightly on the spectrum. So I'm not trying to dog him away here, but it's odd, it's weird. But I'm not trying to dog him if he does have some sort of mental health issue or some kind of delay. I'm not trying to dog out Daniel. I apologize. But the way he talks, he sounds like a serial killer. So I'm just going to put it out there. So it's not like I have any love for Daniel, okay? Daniel. But I'm finna go in and I'm going to say a few things that are maybe controversial to some of you, but not. If you know me well enough, it's not controversial. So Bianca and Daniel's been out of jail literally probably a week, maybe. His parents are there to visit with the cousin. So his parents want to go take him out to lunch, spend some time with him alone, which is understandable. So Bianca goes out with his cousin to a bar to drink. Now, as to why she would go out, like, the whole vibe in this scene was off, y'all. It was off. The way she was kind of drinking, and she kept drinking. Then the cousin was like, well, I must have drink too. The whole vibe, I'm sitting here going, Yeah, the vibe was off. To me, it seemed like she wanted to F the cousin. I'm just going to call it like it is. First of all, it seemed like she was kind of a little bit, then she over there telling the cousin about their sex life. The cousin like, turning red, what? She over there telling the cousin about the sex life. Why would you be telling your man's cousin, whether they be a male or a female, about your sex life, and you just barely know this person, barely met this person, and then you have the ease enough to be drunk around this person in the middle of the damn day? drunk. Sloppy toppy drunk. Sloppy drunk. Bianca was sloppy drunk. She was, I don't know how many drinks she had or what her tolerance for alcohol, because, you know, they edit it and they splice it. But Bianca was sloppy toppy. She was drunk. She was like slurring her words. She like, the way she was acting with the cousin, if I was Daniel and I would have watched that scene, I would have been like, well, it seemed like you wanted to F my cousin. Like she was a little too flirty for me. Is it just me? Maybe I'm the person that noticed that. Bianca seemed a little flirty with the cousin. It made me a little uncomfortable watching her. The whole scene made me uncomfortable. The way she was talking to cousin, the way she was kind of leaning in, her body language, all of that made me, I was like, it made me uncomfortable. So she's sloppy drunk. So the parents go out with him, and then he talking about getting her a ring and spending money, and he spent like maybe $180 to get her like a little promise ring, you know, because he ain't got no money, he ain't got no job. He was telling his parents the situations, and he was asking his parents, what do you think about Bianca? They're like, oh, we like her. Like, look, y'all, I'm finna say something else controversial. A lot of times these parents, I think they just don't want their kid to come live with them. There is no way in hell, whether my son incarcerated or not, that he would get with that Bianca, that. I'm calling her a that. And I would be okay with my son dating, or daughter dating that. So sometimes these parents, I think they just want to pawn their incarcerated kid off on somebody that they don't have to take care of them and deal with them anymore. Because if I was Daniel's relative sister, I'd have been like, hell to the no. Do you like her? Fuck no. I would have been like, she childish. What the hell she got on? I mean, not saying that Daniel is all this prize. I'm not saying he got issues. But the idea for him parents to be like, oh yeah, we like Bianca. You like what? What? You? Mom, stepdad, what you liking? I think they like just the idea that he can go, tut, go live with her. Some of y'all may not like it, oh well, but that's my opinion. I just think some of the time these parents just want to pawn their kids off on somebody else and not deal with all their shit all their years. I like Daniel's mom. She done been through a lot. She done been through it. Knowing the stuff that I know, she done already lost a son. She had Daniel and his brother's dad was abusive. He was a drunk. He apparently had substance abuse issues, and there was some physical abuse going on. And so she got out of that situation the best that she could, but then it passed on to her sons. So I feel bad for her. The way she looked is so, like, you didn't see that poor lady. She didn't go through it. I feel bad for Daniel's mother. I really do feel bad for Daniel's mom and stepdad. But just so they come back to the restaurant, and Bianca is sloppy toppy. She's drinking. She like, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. She tells the cousin before they show up, to tell the cousin that she ain't taking the plan B yet, that her and Daniel had sex. They got intimate. And she has not taken the plan B, which plan B guarantees that the baby don't stick. So she says she ain't taking it yet. But Daniel told her last episode, this is not the time for us to have a baby. I don't have a job. I'm not stable enough. Bianca's not stable enough mentally and emotionally to have a child. So Daniel, the unexpected voice of reason, told her, you know, I want you to take the plan B. So, because he already has a child. That was a shock. We didn't know that Daniel actually has like a 13-year-old kid. Okay. So he has a kid that he's not taking care of. He's not paying child support, that he don't see, that he don't have contact with. So there's no guarantee that him and Bianca are going to be together forever. Because if she do have a baby, there's no guarantee that they're going to, because with baby comes more problems. The baby doesn't fix your relationship. It causes more problems. It's hard to be a parent, especially to be a parent when one parent is incarcerated and they're struggling with substance abuse like Daniel does, and apparently Bianca does too. So why would you want to bring a child into this world in that type of situation? But Bianca don't care. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm only gonna say this once to men. Okay? First of all, Bianca's wrong for trying to trap anybody from pregnancy, but there are women out here who are like this. Don't think it's just Bianca. Don't think it's just this show. But there are women out here who have trapped men in relationships by getting pregnant with them. So don't think Bianca's the only one. Nine times out of 10, it backfires on these women. But don't think that this is just this show. Okay? Because this does happen in real life. I know men, related, friends, I know females that have done this to men. Okay? I don't agree with it. It's dangerous, it's treacherous, and it's awful to the child. Okay? It's awful to everybody all the way around. Bianca, if she keeps going the path that she gonna go down to, she gonna end up like Troy's mom. In 40, 50 years, she gonna be like Troy's mom. Bianca's gonna have several kids by several different men. She's gonna be a drunk. She's gonna be sloppy toppy. She gonna be for the streets. She's gonna be Troy's mom in about 50 years. Less than 50 years, about 30 years if she keeps it up. She's gonna be Troy's mom. By the time she's in her late 40s, she's gonna look haggard. She's gonna have a couple kids. She's barely gonna take care of those kids. And that's the way her life is going if she doesn't turn it around. If she can't go to a bar and hold her liquor and hold her shit together, what you gonna have a child for? What you gonna be at the bar with your baby? What you gonna be drunk? If she don't get her life together. Having a baby is not gonna help you get your life together. Having a baby is not gonna bring your relationship together. Having a baby is just having a baby. It's just having a baby. It's not gonna fix things. It's not gonna keep a man. No. The fact that she did not take the plan B means that she is a disgusting scallywag. She is disgusting. She is disgusting. It is partially his choice whether he wants to have a baby or not. So it's his choice as well. But the other problem is, fellas, not saying anything about Daniel and Bianca because, he just got out of jail. So his situation is a little bit different. But Daniel should have took the steps to protect himself. So I tell men this all the time. Oh, this woman trapped me having a baby. I was tricked into having, ain't nobody tricked into having no fucking baby. Unless that chick is poking holes in a condom, maybe. That you didn't know about, maybe. But I tell men, if you're not ready to have a child, if you don't know if you're going to be with this bitch, you don't know what's going to happen with this chick, strap up. For Daniel to have unprotected sex with Bianca was irresponsible on her part and his part. You cannot leave, notwithstanding your physical health, up to another person. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot leave your physical health. He don't know what Bianca has. I don't think Bianca even knows if she has anything. When's the last time she was tested? When's the last time Daniel was tested? When's the last time you watching this? When were you tested? Now, if you're married and you're in a monogamous relationship and you've been with the same person for a long time, I get it. But if you're out there dating people, even if you're not dating a lot of people, I would say that you don't know what the last person you've been with had. So I would tell people you should be tested. Even if you are in a relationship, it is healthy for any man or woman who have insurance, you can afford it, like to saying, withstanding all that. You should be out getting STD tested. You should be out getting tested for diseases, bacteria. You should be going to your OBGYN appointments, all of that. Pap smear, all that. Okay? Y'all should be out there doing all that. Mammogram, I'm getting my mammogram next week. All of that. You should not be out here recklessly getting the friction on with people that just got out of prison or you just met and you just got out of prison. He don't know what Bianca was doing while he was locked up. Who she was doing, what she was doing. I'm not saying she was. She could have been. And then now this chick is trying to trap you into a baby. Fellas, this is y'all's fault. Like I said, I'm not talking about Daniel. Just Daniel and Bianca. I'm talking about men out here, period. Regular men. Men who are not incarcerated and in this type of situation. Men who live with women. Men who don't live with women. Men who are dating women. Men who are just sleeping around. The point is you have to protect yourself. Your health-wise and your seed. Having a baby. If you are not insistent to this chick that I'm wearing a condom, I'm not trusting you. I'm on the pill. I got the ring. Unless you see that bitch and put a ring up her cootie cat, don't believe it. I got an implant, don't worry. How you gonna see that? There's contraceptive sponge you can go and buy. You just show up and be like, I got a contraceptive sponge. I need you to shove this up your hoo-ha. Those exist. A contraceptive cup. Whatever it is that you feel like you need. There are many options out there to keep you from having an oopsie baby. Take it from somebody who's an oopsie baby. I'm an oopsie baby. My parents had me at a young age. They couldn't raise me. My grandmother took custody. My grandmother saved my life. My parents are both deceased. May they rest in peace. My mother spent the last 10 years of her life helping me raise my children. We had a good relationship at the end, but I am an oopsie baby. My parents did not think through anything. It was just something that just happened. I don't know how many times they were together before it happened, because, it only takes once. But the idea that Bianca is in her 20s and Daniel's in his 30s, they're not teenagers. Nobody should be out here in a westernized, civilized world having oopsie babies. Bianca is wrong and disgusting and utterly, completely gutter snipe disgusting for trying to trap a man into having a baby that he doesn't want, that he's not going to raise. And guess who has to live with the legacy of that? Us kids do. Guess who's had to live with this for the rest of my life? I have had to. So while the parents had these fun babies, and they halfway raised these kids, or in my situation, didn't raise me, at least my mom knew better not to have any more children. But my dad went on to have 3, 4 more kids, by 3, 4 more. I say 3 or 4 because one of the women, we're not quite sure. We need a DNA test. But my dad's deceased. He went on and had 3 or 4 more kids with different women that he didn't raise me or now one of these kids. All of my dad's baby mamas, including my mother, got stuck with a child, or the child was raised by their grandparents or grandmother or grandfather. Irresponsibility. So again, as somebody speaking, I technically speaking shouldn't be alive if my parents were responsible. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you all kids are a blessing. Thank you, Lauren Miller, that all kids are a blessing, because they're not. They're not. Like I said, I have to live with the legacy of having a father in and out of prison. I had a dad who was in and out of prison, like Daniel, who's an alcoholic. I stay away from alcohol and the drugs because I come from half of my family. They're all addicts. I didn't have any choice to be brought into this world. Nobody asked me, was it okay for my parents to dump me over my grandmother's house? Oh, I'm sorry, didn't dump me when my grandmother had to go get me out of a crack house when I was 2 years old. That's real. That's me real speaking to y'all. That was my life. I was saved by my grandmother. I had a good grandmother who went and got me. And not my father's mother, but my mother's mother went and got me out of a crack house and saved my life and took custody of me and fought for me. A lot of grandparents don't do that. He allowed himself to get back in their trap. Right. I feel so bad for those kids. It's sad her own daughter told her it's selfish for her. Yeah. People act like having babies is like having a purse or a pet. It's not. I live the legacy of parents who were irresponsible ass people. Thank God I'm a success. I'm college educated. I got married and had kids. I got married and have children. That scared the hell out of me when I was in my 20s. I was young, wild, and free, y'all. But I was young, wild, and free on birth control. I was young, wild, and free going to get STD tests every 6 months. Getting AIDS tested once a year. So you can live your life and be young and wild and free. And I was all that. But I wasn't having no babies. I had friends that had babies. Scared me half to death. Why? Because I knew what it was like to live in a house full of secrets. I knew what it was like to have people whisper. I know what it like to be picked up by your grandmother and people are like, where are your parents at? And nobody really told me where my parents was at. I know what it feels like to be abandoned as a child by parents who may God rest their soul, did come around when I was an adult. But it took a long time. My dad never came around. Like, I talked to my dad. It was okay. It was cool. My dad was incarcerated in and out of his whole life. My dad was an alcoholic, y'all. Real talk. So can't nobody tell me that it's cute and it's cool to be out here having kids when you have to live with the legacy of that. That's cute for you. You want to lay up here with a man and do whatever, and then, well, I want to trap him. Yeah, you want to trap him. I want to trap him. I was fucking disgusted. You want to trap this man with a baby, and who going to live with the legacy of that? If Daniel take off and walk and she is pregnant, he gonna live his own life while he go out and meet somebody else and have kids by another woman. And then what? That kid gonna be sitting before you on a YouTube video pissed off. Because I do feel some type of way about that. Every time I watch these shows, I'm like, what about the children? What about these kids? Y'all ain't nobody putting these kids first? Because again, I speak from a humble place of experience. Because again, I've lived this life. My dad was incarcerated. My brothers lived the legacy of incarceration and addiction that I escaped because my grandmother brought me out of that life. But if I would have stayed with my parents, I would have stayed being around my dad back in Detroit, Michigan, I would have been another fucking statistic, y'all. I would have been in prison. I would have had babies. I would have been another statistic. My grandmother took me out of the environment that we lived in and moved here to Texas to the suburbs. And it saved my life. My grandmother saved my life many times. I was a Jehovah's Witness. Some of y'all know about that. My grandmother was there at every step of the way. I joined the cult, y'all. Like, my grandmother was there to save me in every point in my life. And the idea that Bianca just sit up there and talk about having a baby like it's flipping, like she's having a fucking ham sandwich. Like she's making decisions of what shirt she gonna wear today. Like, oh, I'm gonna trap him. What? I was in that's one instance. Then about his sobriety. So Daniel has a problem with alcohol, okay? Apparently Bianca does too. She up there, you're gonna kiss me? You're gonna kiss me? He like, no. You're gonna kiss me? Girl, he's like, how do you feel you here drunk and I'm struggling? That's your problem. That's your problem. If you're not strong enough, that's your problem. What? Lauren said, I couldn't even watch because of the mental state and the stupid. I was ready to throw something at the TV, Lauren. Especially when she told Michael to choose the child over her, like he wanted to be stuck raising all these kids. Yeah, Justine and Michael is something else. I can't deal with their level of callousness and stupidity. The situation with their kids is going to continue. Like the kids are not going to get along, and sometimes you just have to face it and be what it is. Your kids don't get along. And you have to sit down with these kids and mitigate it. But the idea that they want to bring more kids in the world and they're not even capable of mentally and emotionally handling the kids that they have. Justin and Michael, I was through with them last season. I was disgusted with them last season. Troy, girlfriend crazy. He needs to run. Troy needs to run for the hills. Him and Rob need to get rid of teeny tiny whatever. And Rob and Troy need to get together. They need to have their own show because they seem like real nice guys. Troy seems like a real sweet guy. But he's just in a situation that he's stuck in. Troy don't seem like he has any family. His mama is off the rails. Troy married a woman just like his mama. Dysfunctional. And it happens. You know, I work hard not to marry somebody like my parents, like dysfunctional. But it happens. People fall into the same trap that their parents did. They end up marrying somebody just like their dysfunctional mother or father. It happens I see it all the time. So he married somebody that's just as volatile as his mama is. Zariah and Troy's mom act just alike. They both off the rails. They both unstable human beings, in my opinion. But yeah, Bianca, her up there telling Daniel that she didn't care about his sobriety, run. Daniel, I don't know Daniel. Daniel, a dog deserves better than that. If you are struggling with sobriety, and I've dated somebody who struggled with addiction issues. And I've never done drugs. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I barely even eat sugar. So, but the idea that somebody's callous enough to sit up in a bar and tell you, that's your problem. That's your problem. What they got to do with me, bro? Callously. Just, you should have enough willpower to not be tempted and not drink. That's on you. It sounds like a you problem to me. What? I would have went home. I would have told my parents. Daniel is so sweet, and she was so disrespectful, and she gonna say this in front of his family. I don't care about your. That ain't my problem. Child, the mama had more restraint than me, because if somebody would have said, if I knew my son was struggling with addiction and she's already lost one child, and had this bitch up here sitting there telling my son, that's your problem. What they got to to do with me. I'm a drink. And what ain't got nothing to be bold with it. And Bianca said it with her whole bird ass chest. She said it with her whole bird chest. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And the look on her face was like a demon. She was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's on you. I don't have a problem with alcohol. She sat up there and said it with her whole bird ass chest. If that was that mama, I would have snatched her wig real quick. I said, these pants too passive for me. I would have gotten Bianca's face and would have been like, you know what? You show right, bitch. And I would have been like, let's go. I would have been like, let's go. I would have told my son, if you don't pack your shit up right now and get the hell out this demon's house, Bianca is a fucking demon. She's a demon. She's a demon, y'all. I'm telling you. I don't ever say that. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in God, but I believe in demons walking this earth. I believe that some people out there act like demons. And somebody who's a recovering addict, somebody that claims he love you, then she got mad because he didn't pour her a cup of coffee. He didn't pour me a cup of coffee. Look, a person shows you who they are by the things that they do. And Bianca, her whole behavior since Daniel got home has been foul. Her whole behavior is a sense of entitlement. It's a sense of, you can't pour me a cup of coffee? Well, I'm not hungry anymore. Well, I'm not going to stop drinking. Then she flirting with the cousin, low-key, telling the cousin about their sex life. Girl, if you don't get your ass up out of here. She with Daniel for what? What's she with Daniel for? They have no chemistry together. Then she telling them, talking about the sex with Daniel. Well, he just stuck it in. What? Who tells somebody cousin that? Well, he just stuck it in. I need some more. Why don't you tell Daniel that? Why don't you talk to your man and tell him that? Maybe he don't know that. Why would you put this man on blast on national TV and in front of his family like that? Like, why would you disrespect your man like that? By putting your sex life out there. And then in such crude manner. Like, it was so crude and disgusting to have her talk about Daniel like, he just stick it in and it... Girl, why are you talking like that? And I understand she was drunk or whatever, but I'm just like, even with me being drunk, like I have discretion. Like I'm still not gonna be over here talking to my homegirl about me and my man's sex life if I had a man. Like I wouldn't be talking to somebody I barely know about my sex life. I don't care how drunk I am. Like no, she did that shit on purpose. Tipsy or not, Bianca did that on purpose. Telling the cousin about the sex life. It made me uncomfortable. I'm like, why is she telling him this? I'm like, oh. She flirting with the cousin. Because there was no reason for her to say that. That was just nasty. There was no reason for her to be talking about their sex life in such a nasty, crude, nasty term. Bianca's a demon. She's a demon. Like, demon. And I don't mean, like I said, in a supernatural way, but the way she act is so lowbrow. The way she act is so cutting of Daniel. She the type of bitch that would talk shit about you after you get... So I'm telling you, she's the type of woman that would get in a fight with you and then be like, well, that's why you were drunk. She that type of person. That's that kind of woman. Well, you a drunk anyway. She'll throw it in your face. She'll throw your addiction in your face. She that kind of woman. That's the kind of woman that you don't that know. And I have to say again to fellas, if any men are out here watching this video, fellas, if any women are watching this video, ladies too, we get dogged out for making bad choices in relationships. They dog us out. Well, women, y'all should make better choices. That is true. Women should learn to make better choices. But men do the same shit. Regardless of whether these men are incarcerated or not. I've witnessed it. I've seen it in my own family. I've seen it with my male friends. I've seen it with coworkers. I've seen it with people that I associate with. I get tired of women, the narrative being out here that women are making bad choices and having babies with men that aren't responsible, because men do the same stuff too. Men are out here choosing scallywags, goblins, demons, out here in relationships with. And staying, and let me get the camera in. And staying with these bitches. There are men out there right now who have left good women. They're sleeping with the enemy right now. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's individual, it's specific, it's collective. It's a lot. But the idea that men don't get with fucked up women, they do. Men get with horrible women. And it's not talked about enough. They stay with horrible women. It's not just women that stay with horrible men. Well, there's a narrative. Well, men will take off and leave. No, they won't. I've seen men stay with horrible, mentally and emotionally abusive ass crazy women. I've seen women key up dudes' car, bust a hole in their windshield, and they turn around and have a baby with her and be with her the next week. Stop pretending that this doesn't happen, fellas. Y'all stay with some crazy bitches. Some of y'all men like crazy bitches. Y'all like crazy women. Y'all get with a woman that's calm and cool and like, okay, you know what? I don't want to play house. Maybe we should get to know each other. Maybe we should get to know each other on a level and form a relationship. And I'm cool, you cool, we cool together. Y'all don't want a woman like that. You want the woman who gonna bust it wide open for you. And like, yeah, you can come spend the night in my house. You can come lay up with me. Them are the same bitches that try to trap y'all. These are the same bitches. These same bitches, and I don't use the B word lightly, ever, hardly ever. But these women are these same bitches that y'all complain about all the time. But y'all get with these women, and y'all love these women, and y'all have babies with these crazy women. And then y'all sit back and get on the internet and fucking complain about women. Because when you meet a good woman out there, ladies who are good women, I know a lot of good women, and we are all single. I'm single. Because I don't want to play house and I don't have a man laid up in my house. I have kids. My kids come first. I'm too old, to be out drinking and partying. I'm beyond that age. But so no matter what age group we're talking about, but you would think that men would understand after having relationships and having kids and being married and divorced, that they would understand that a good fruit is worth cultivating. If you have a woman that's telling you, I want to kind of take it slow, let's get to know each other. Y'all men don't want that. I'm not gonna bust it wide open on the first 2 dates, but this is the women that y'all want to be with, and these women ain't shit. I'm gonna say it again. Y'all want these women that want to fuck you on the first date? Them women ain't shit. Them women will use you for your money. Will get pregnant by you, will be laid up in your house in a week. These women have no education, they have no couth, they have no class, they have not a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. But when you come across a woman who's educated, who's smart, who's decent, who's like, wait a minute, I'm a little bit conservative when I date, so I'm not going to bust it wide open for you on the second or third date. I'm not going to be throaty-boaty. I'm not going to be down there sucking your whatever on the second date. I'm a woman like fine wine. I take cultivating. You want to get to know me? I bring a lot to the table. So you have to get to know me. We can hang out. It's not about dates and spending money. Let's go jogging together. Let's go work out together. Let's go hang out together. Let's get to know each other. I want to get to know you as a person. But you motherfuckers don't want that. I feel very strongly about this. That most of you motherfuckers don't want that. Y'all want easy. Easy is crazy. A lot of the times. Easy is crazy. I'm just telling you. I see it all the time. Oh, she's so fun and she's so wild. And then y'all want these really aggressive women. Y'all want these women who are jealous all the time. Y'all want these women that up your ass all the time. Y'all want these women who are like, sweating you 24 hours a day. I'm not a sweater. I'm not going to sweat you 24 hours a day. Not all women are built like that. I'm very cool. I'm very nonchalant. I'm like, calm, be easy. Let me get to know you. Let me get to feel out who you are. I got things going on in my life. I got YouTube channels. I got work. I got other things going on. Like I'm respectful. I'm educated. I'm not a scallywag. But again, like I said, what don't get talked about is a lot of you men want scallywags. And then y'all get y'all women, y'all end up having buyer's remorse. Y'all marry these women, y'all have kids with these women. These women ain't shit. A lot of them are not shit. They ain't shit women. Bianca ain't shit. I'm telling you. That should never be somebody that I would ever even be friends with. I couldn't even be friends with nobody like Bianca. Even when I was in my 20s, I knew about women who acted like this, but I wasn't friends with them. I had friends with friends that were party girls, drank all the time, had 2 or 3 baby daddies. I would be like, okay, you keep that drama-filled bitch over there. I wouldn't even be associated with women like this. Like I wouldn't. That's not somebody I would spend my time hanging around with. I would be embarrassed to be her friend. I would be sitting there. I don't have female friends in my 20s like that. Like I'm just like, we knew women like this, but we avoided these women like the plague because they were full of drama and jealousy and drama and drinking and accidents and all that. I throw a side eye to Bianca's whole story about her accident now. Like, I'm like, you sure the friend was driving? Like, I don't know about this accident. I ain't seen no police records. I ain't seen shit. So I don't know about this accident. I mean, I know she was in and out. She got hurt, but I'm like, okay, who's really driving? Who's really driving, Bianca? Why did you get in a car with somebody drunk? My friend tipsy and drunk, I'm going to look at her and be like, bitch, I'm not getting in the car with you. We better call an Uber. Better call a taxi. Well, better call your mama, call my friend, call my boyfriend, somebody. Then Bianca was in a relationship and had a miscarriage, was in a relationship with a dude that was a substance abuser. Okay, where's Bianca's family at? I got questions. But again, you men out there, not you personally, this doesn't apply to you, then okay, I just let it go in one ear and right out the next. But some of y'all men need to be told, y'all keep choosing scallywags because y'all don't want to take the time to cultivate a relationship with a good woman. Y'all want easy. Y'all want to hit the easy button. Y'all want to hit the easy button. I want a bitch that's just gonna put out on the first night. Them bitches is crazy. Them bitches is working at Walmart, at the Piggly Wiggly. They got 4-5 kids, about 4-5 different baby daddies. But y'all don't seem to care about that. These bitches be obsessive. They be crazy. They be in your cell phone. They be at your mama's house. Y'all don't seem to really particularly mind that. Y'all like crazy bitches. I've learned that about men. Some men like crazy women. They like toxic, crazy, loud talking, I want to fight your mama women. Rob and Teeny. He didn't know what kind of woman he married and got with even behind the bars? You didn't know that this bitch was finna fight your mama? You didn't know this goblin finna fight your mama? This gremlin up here swinging on your mama? And if he stays with her, he deserves everything that he get because I wouldn't stay on no motherfucker swinging on my mama. We're good here. I'll be like, relationship over. You all like this in front of your kids? You want me to have kids with you and you swinging on my mama in front of your own children? You don't have enough restraint for yourself and respect for your children to not swing on my mama at a welcome home party? Like, you don't have enough restraint to hold your tongue and just move on? She could have stood up and walked away, Teeny. Troy and Zariah. I understand Troy may have been blindsided, so I ain't too mad at him because he probably didn't know. But, you know, poor Troy, he probably didn't know. Daniel and Bianca, I don't think Daniel knew Bianca was like this. But my point is that y'all men like these toxic women sometimes. So I'm tired of women act like we choose bad men. Men choose fucked up women. And it doesn't get talked about enough. So, I have sympathy for Daniel. He need to run as fast as he can. But women get in bad situations and men get in bad situations. Not just women out here choosing toxic men and getting pregnant and having babies with bad boys and men that ain't shit. It's a lot of men out here having babies with women that ain't shit, that don't make good mothers, that just don't do nothing. And poor Daniel caught in the middle of everything. He should just go live with his parents and just go call it a day. He has some place to go. I feel bad for Troy because Troy don't really got a place to go. And Rob, I feel bad for Rob because Teeny and her kids are living in the house. So that's a whole hard situation. But Daniel can go and run. I would run away. I'd run as far as I could away from that from Bianca. She is disgusting. It is his body too. It is his decision whether or not he want to bring the child in the world. But men, don't get caught up. Don't put yourself in these situations and having unprotected sex with women that you barely know, that haven't been tested, that they ain't even been in a relationship. He ain't barely out of jail. And I understand he was in a hurry to get intimate with her, but still though, you have to think, and I'm sure he probably didn't think for 1 second that this chick was gonna flip the script on him. But you have to be prepared. You can't trust nobody like that these days. With your own body, you can't trust nobody with your own seed in your body, your own womb in your body. You can't trust people out here. People out here are doing all kinds of treacherous things, y'all. So anyway, that's my review of this episode. I came in and said thank you everybody for being here. And I appreciate it. Y'all be careful out there. I'm just telling y'all, there's some real scallywags, and there's some demons out here. There's some dudes that ain't shit out here. Y'all just be careful. So, you know, I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my other channel, Nomadic Kitty. And until next time, next episode, y'all, I had to come on here and preach a little bit for y'all because this episode, I'm going to do a video about 90 Day and I'm going to be preaching on 90 Day too. I got so many opinions about 90 Day. I may do several videos because this 90 Day other way around is a hot mess this season. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. And I love y'all. I love y'all. Bye. Let me get to work. Oh my God. I got to get to work. I got to